Hey everyone, welcome back to the SEL. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Atlas 280 steam engines. So let's take a look. Hey everyone, so before we get started on today's video, I did want to announce that I will be at York this year. This will be York number 2 for me, and I plan on being there at least Thursday and Friday. I'm not quite sure about Saturday. We're planning on leaving pretty early on Saturday, so we'll see what happens. But I know I will be at, and I hope I say this right, the Lower Susquehanna Railroad Club. I'll be there at least Wednesday night, if not Thursday night, and Friday night as well. So if you're at York and you see me, come say hi. I will definitely at least be wearing something Georgia Southern related, Central Georgia related, or I'll be wearing my own Silly Eagle Lion shirt. So if you see me, come say hi, and I will see y'all at York. So Atlas announced these in April of 2024, which I believe would have put it in the spring catalog for that year. And they offered several different road names: Chicago Northwestern, Boston and Maine, Western Maryland, Union Pacific, New York Central, and as you see here, the Southern. And each offering they did included 2 road numbers. So some of the features that this model includes are die-cast spoiler and chassis, metal wheels and axles, precision flywheel motor, metal handrails, synchronized puffing with proto smoke, operating firebox flicker. It has a new PCB drawbar, LED lighting, Proto Sound 3, and a wireless drawbar. The unit measures 19.25 inches by 2.5 inches by 3.75 inches. And the minimum curve is 0.36, so it's very friendly to small layouts. So now that we've talked about the features in the model, let's go in for a closer look. So here's the front of the engine, and we have marker lights up here, LED headlight with number boards on either side, which are lit. We have a number board up front, crisp 630, a couple of cut bar with a small chain. We have a screw up here and some more separately applied details here. Moving on to the side of the engine here, we have a builder's plate, which I believe should be legible whenever you get up and close on it. Smokestack, bell, which does swing a little bit. Domes, whistle detail, separately applied grab iron. I really like, for some reason, the truck up front. I just like how it looks. I don't know why I do. I guess because it's a different color as opposed to a normal just straight black. For some reason, it just stands out to me. I don't really know. And we have the drive gear down here. Now, I've heard from some people that it's too big for 630 specifically. And I believe that's just due to the tooling being so old. And we'll talk about the tooling here in a minute. And we have more detail here with hoses, and up here we have the whistle and cab with hand painted crew figures and the start of the tender. Now here's the tender. Now something you couldn't see in the previous shot here is this engine actually does have a drop plate, which I think is kind of cool, and I would like to see this on a whole lot more steam engines, not just from Atlas in the future, but from Lionel, because I would love if my 280 had a drop plate right here. We have a crisp 630 here. We have a headlight back here. Now you'll notice mine is actually missing a number plate, and it was not in the box. And I need to contact Atlas on that. Maybe they can send me a replacement. I'm not going to send it back to them just because it's missing a number plate. That's a little bit excessive. But we do have a molded in coal load. Now I have heard some people express some displeasure with that. Again, this is Atlas's second steam engine they've ever made. And the first one, from what I hear, was a bit of a disaster. So I'm willing to forgive quite a lot on this steam engine, just me personally. And here's the back of the engine, back of the headlight. We have ladder here, a proto coupler, and some really nice details here. Now, I believe the 630 really does have these back here, so it's a nice detail. Now, the latch here does not open, but again, this is an older tooling, and we'll get into that here in a second. Now, while I've got them apart here, I will flip the engine over here so you guys can see the bottom. There's the bottom of the engine, 2 pickup rollers, 2 more MTH stickers, and what looks like the remains of a switch for whatever Weaver or K-Line use these for. And we'll talk about the pickup roller situation here in a second, but that's the bottom of the engine. Now, a couple more things I do want to go ahead and talk about before we fire this thing up are some positives and negatives that I do want to talk about with this engine. Positives. Now, Atlas did, in what I consider, a really good job on their second ever steam engine. Now, we all know that the first steam engine they did forever ago was a bit of a disaster. Things fell apart. It just didn't work all that great. It just was not very good. Now, this engine, while it does have its flaws, I do feel like this is a step in the right direction for Atlas as far as steam goes. Really, the only people that make steam are, well, Lionel, obviously, MTH, obviously, and we also have Third Rail that does O-scale steam engines. But they're kind of in a league of their own when it comes to O-scale, so we'll kind of exclude them from this conversation. But Atlas has ever only done 2, and we really can't expect Atlas to be on the same level of Lionel and MTH yet. It's just not fair to Atlas because they just don't have the experience in it. So to say that, oh, Atlas should know better, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they should, for example, know to try and put 2 pickup rollers back here on the tender to help extend the footprint. I'm not sure how the wireless drawbar works and all that because I don't know MTH steam engines all that well. But I do think for a second ever attempt at making a steam engine, this is a step in the right direction. I feel like, yes, we should be telling Atlas, here's how you could be doing it better, blah, 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 but it doesn't need to be, oh, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. I hate this engine, I'm sending it back. It's their second ever engine. Again, the coal load back here being cast in. Should it be real coal? Probably so. But the tooling is really old, and I'm not saying it couldn't have been modified, but Atlas may have decided to cut corners here to bring down the cost, which is another thing we might have to consider in why this engine may not perform as well as some of us may have liked. But again, as I've said multiple times in this segment, this is only their second ever steam engine. And if that means I've bought a collector's piece here to make sure that Atlas in the future becomes a competitor in the steam market, I am 1000% okay with that. I am 100% okay with buying something that maybe sits on my shelf and runs every now and then if it means we get a third or even fourth if we count why am I drawing a break? I am 100% okay with having a bit of a shelf queen here if it means we get another competitor in Steam that can not necessarily go against Third Rail, but we have a third option for Steam against Lionel and MTH. Now, I wanted to get it all out of the way, so let's fire this thing up. All right, so let's go ahead and move this thing out. Now, I don't have any Southern passenger cars, but I do have plenty of Southern Eagle Lines passenger cars. So that's what I'll be running with this engine today. I also might switch out the cars for maybe some of my Atlas Woodside Reefers. I know 630 might not have pulled that, but I think it will look cool anyway because it'll be Atlas cars behind it. I mean, technically these are Atlas too, but I also have the SNA cabooses that were sold along these engines. So again, if I switch out, that'll be what it is. But let's go ahead and move it out. What I'll do is I will do the extended startup sequence for this engine.
Check on that water level, will you?
Swing that boat over.
Okay, that's enough. Let's grease up the side rod. Looks good. What do you see? I'm going to blow her down now. Clear? Clear.
All right, let's move it out.
check the water level while I look at these orders?
Sure. That'll do it.
The tank is top off and I oiled around. Did you check the Sanders? Getting right on it.
Looks good.
Our orders indicate that the next train we push will be here in minutes. I'll go back and get the steam up so we're ready. Good idea. Pressure looks good. They're ready for us. Let's go.
Okay, set it off. I'm going to blow her down now. Clear? Clear. Take care. See you soon.
All right, guys, so that's the 280. So those are my opinions on the engine. I do think this engine can be improved, and I'll kind of talk about what I feel like it can be done to improve the next version of this engine or any other future engines. As I showed earlier, the Tender does not have pickup rollers, and I feel like if this engine did have pickup rollers on the Tender, just like my Lionel 280, some of the electrical problems might not have happened, and maybe it's just my wiring that's the issue. I really don't know. As you kind of saw in the video, I switched out the switch back there with a normal piece of track, and it took care of the problem. And that's the only spot on the layout where it has a problem. It has the same problem on the inner loop on the same switch. And I ran my two SW1500s that are also from MTH through those switches at the exact same time, and they had no issues. And I think that's because they have 4 pickup rollers as opposed to 2 like this engine has here. Now, my only counter argument to my own argument is I have the exact same switches on the other side of the layout, and it goes through them just fine. So maybe it's a problem with those 2 switches in particular, or maybe it's the wiring on those 2 switches in particular. I really don't know. So I'm not going to fault the engine for that, because I really can't confirm or deny if it's the switch or if it's the engine, because when I put the track in, I used the same pins that were already there because I soldered the wires to the pins instead of the track. So I mean, I guess I really can't confirm it's the wiring because it works fine with that other piece. So it may just be the switch that's causing a problem. So again, I'm not going to fault the engine for what I really can't 100% confirm is its problem. But I do think having extra pickup rollers back here would help the engine regardless. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Did you guys order one of these? Which one did you get? And what are your opinions on it? Let me know down below in the comments. If you liked the video, again, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. let's go ahead and move it out. What I'll do is I will do the extended startup sequence for this engine. And it would help if I turned on track power.